we're going. And you guys, you actually are kind of fortunate. So George was our test podcast yesterday. Oh. And we had about 20 minutes of technical difficulties, and then Andre almost burned his hotel down.
Oh, shit.
We had to pause 4 minutes in because George just sees, like, steam coming out of the top because we did it on his balcony.
Yeah.
He's like, guys, I think that's a fire.
Oh, shit.
But Andre just, like, left the steam thing on. And so now we dialed in our operation for you guys.
Okay.
Much better.
So
No
we're
fires.
safe now.
You're safe.
Great.
You're safe.
Great.
Yeah. But thank you guys for taking the time, especially in the middle of your tournament, to chat. And I think that you guys are probably the funnest storyline from the Olympics, and it's probably a lot more fun now that it's over. Because you guys have had a wild last year and a half, and I'm curious, just like, what has this past year and a half been like? Because you start as sort of the plucky young kids, but now you just win your poll. You beat the best team in the world, and you beat Barbara Carroll. And now you're gonna be quarterfinals. Like, it's a pretty big rise for you guys.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I think for us it was like we set this goal, Paris 2024, and we knew we're the third team, and it's still such a long road to go. But we just stayed in the moment and played tournament for tournament, point for point, and yeah, in the end it was like a head-to-head race, and it was a lot of pressure in the end as well, but I think it also pushed us. I think this race like pushed us to high level beach volleyball, and we're so happy that we could have won the race. Yeah. And also have this pressure gone, and now play a bit more relaxed, or like it's so fun to play here in Gstaad, and we're definitely a bit surprised that we won our pool, because when we looked at the pool beforehand, we were like, that's a tough one. So it's nice that we're in the quarterfinals now.
No kidding. Getting that bye is pretty useful.
Yes, totally.
Well, what does a win over Anouk Verge-Depre do for your confidence? Because I think that when they're playing at their best, I don't know if there's anyone that can beat them, but to beat that team, you now know for a fact that you can beat any team in the world. It's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where, like, until you haven't done it, it always feels like, damn, can we do it? Right. And then when you do it, it's it gives you confidence, and it shows that, okay, if you really are in the right mindset, in the right mood on the court, then there's nobody who can stop you. And I feel like beach volleyball is a lot about phases and also like consistency, and I feel like they had some struggles against us, and we tried to just fight till the end, and managed to win by this. But I mean, the game was very close, and I think it's not like we had the dominant win over them. It's like we pushed them to the limits and got the win in the end.
2018, the third, smashed them.
Smash them. Go home.
Back and forth at the end of that third set, side out for side out, and that's kind of how top level volleyball is at the end. And I had a question for you on that final block. You know, that move you made, you kind of dove into the line and left that inside hand. You know, we would call it a drag block by us. Was that your intention? Was your intention to jump to the line? Did you make a late read and see, or can you walk us through what that last block was like for you?
Actually, I was surprised as well by my movement when I watched it in Windows. I was like, what? I'm jumping so much in the line. Yeah. But like for me, in my head, it was like I have to be fast, because Duda's really a fast hitter, and when she set the ball, it's coming at you really fast. So I don't know. I knew I had to be fast, and I think I jumped a bit in the line because she smashed down the line for some times as well. But then maybe I saw her position's not that great, and I just left that arm there. But I think also like how the ball was flying back from my block, it was not the stuff block, so but it was a block, and I was happy to have it important one.
Because when I saw it, I felt like, man, maybe Duda felt you going towards the line, and she decided last minute to swing angle. But like you said, it doesn't need to always be that stuff block as long as it's covering the net and then it gets back on the court.
Yeah. True.
So it was great. No, it was so awesome because, you know, when you're going back and forth like that, sometimes you just have to do something different.
Yeah.
Get that 1 point, you know, how we get earn 1 point here.
Yeah.
So no, I thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Actually, she has a thing about like match ball blocks, like
Really?
Yeah. Always
Like
that
the
point.
line-
Like,
yes.
always at the end
Yeah.
of the set they have a block.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Zoe
like
stoked
it.
on that.
Yeah. I like it.
And how special was it to do it at home too, in front of a fun home crowd?
Yeah, that was so cool. Because I mean, I've like this tournament. I've been here as a kid. I've been helping the tournament as a kid, as a ball kid even, and now to, be in that center court and inspire other little kids was really cool. And also just to play in front of your family, friends, you know, like you walk through the village and you like know every third person, kind of, and you think like, okay, cool, they're all here because they like beach volleyball and they like us to put on a nice show, and it was really cool.
That's cool. Full circle moment.
Yeah. There's sort of like iconic tournaments all over the world. And talking to Hendrik and Matthias about Stavanger when they used to have that in Norway, and Anders and Christian, they've all said that the reason they got into it was because they went to Stavanger.
Really?
Yeah.
Does this tournament have that kind of impact with Swiss players, that you come here and that's kind of a moment where like,
For
oh,
me,
this looks like a
for sure, I think for you it's a little bit different. It was just like the spot where I got really in touch with the sport and where I got to see all the players, and you get that
So we have a
inspiring
picture
moment.
with
I
Carrie
have a
Walsh
picture with
in the supermarket.
Yeah.
She was like 12 or so.
So awesome.
Actually, I can send you that. Yeah.
Perfect. We'll use that.
And so for me, it was for sure the moment where I got a little bit more in love with beach volleyball. But of course, I also had my family playing into that because my dad was already a coach. My mom was in volleyball as well. My sister was obviously in it. So, for me, it was...
For me, I think I wasn't in Gstaad until 2016 or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was also not really like informed by the tournament or inspired by it, let's say. But as soon as I was here, it was always so nice and always really inspiring to see. And it was funny because there was years where Zoe and I were already playing together, where we wanted to play here, and I think we could have had the wildcard for the qualification, but our coaches were always like, "No, I don't think it's good for your
Your development.
for your development."
Yeah.
And then we had to play under 21 world champs in China instead of playing here in Gstaad.
That's a tough substitute.
Yeah, so we just came here to practice for some days and then went off to China.
Yeah.
So for us, our first tournament was here in Gstaad was in 2021.
Okay.
So actually, it's not that many times we played here for real, and so it's still really nice for us to, and also kind of new sometimes to just feel the crowd and I don't know, feel the hype.
I was gonna ask how you guys respond to having that home crowd, because obviously in a tournament in Brazil, all the Brazilian teams step up a little bit, but sometimes playing in front of a home crowd, it comes with a little bit of pressure. You guys seem to respond to it pretty well, but I was curious what it's like to play in front of a packed home stadium.
I think, like for me, it's always more of a hype than a pressure that I feel, because I know a lot of people are watching that I know, or my family, so I'm just really excited to play on the court. And I think this year is also the first year where we kind of fuck up in some set or something. I'm not like, oh shit, we have to deliver now. It's more like, it's okay. It's gonna come back. Yeah. And just really enjoy the moment and enjoy the game, also with the crowd in the back. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's a pressure. It's more of a huge excitement.
I think the first couple of years it was a process, because I remember the first time it was like, oh shit, everybody's here.
Yeah.
You want to play well and show that you improve your level. And so, yeah, at first I think it was like a little bit overwhelming, and now we managed to transform it into something really nice. And yeah, that it's not stressing you even more if you fuck up a couple of points.
Right.
Yeah. I think pressure can't harm us anymore.
Yeah.
Because we had so much pressure in the qualification round. So for us, everything's chill now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great mindset to have, and how fortunate to be able to feel that pressure early, before this Olympics coming up. I mean, was there one match maybe for you guys that you won and you were like, okay, now I got the confidence, or we feel like we belong here now? Was there one specific match maybe that you remember, or maybe a tournament?
I think it was maybe against Brandy and Melissa in Brasilia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we were like, it was I think round of 12, and we knew we just have to stay in there and just believe in ourselves. And I think we came back from a 17-20 even match point for them.
Yeah.
So, and against the team like Melissa and Brandy, it's not normal to get back in this. So I think that's one of the games that really gave us confidence. But in this whole Olympic race, I don't think we ever felt confident that we will do the race. It was just like, we did something good, but I'm sure the other ones can also do something good, and
And they did.
They did.
It was crazy watching you guys. It's like, you did something epic, Anouk and Joanna do something epic, you do something insane, they do. I was like, this race will never end. But I felt like every tournament, you guys did something you had never done before. Like, especially in the craziest stretch where you go to Guadalajara and you get your first gold, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then you go all the way to China and you take a ninth. And then you go from China all the way to Brazil, come out of the qualifier, beat Mel and Brandy for the first time ever after being down 3 match points. And then you win your first Elite 16 medal. And so you guys just like, your trajectory was perfect.
I mean, I think it looks pretty perfect, but there was many moments where we were like, the ninth in China, it was like really hard for us to swallow. And we knew, okay, actually, we played the Germans, and we knew if we win that game, then we will play Anouk and Joe.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like a good chance to maybe like steal points from them, or like put points on our account, and we couldn't take that chance. So then it was like literally after the game, we're like, okay, fuck, we need to go to Brazil.
Cancel our flights back home and rebook new ones for Brazil. Like on the side of the court, like we were there for 2 hours straight and just doing flight stuff.
It's classic beach volleyball. Even at the highest level, they're booking flights right after the match on the courts.
The hardest way to get around the world, China to Brazil. It's like a 55-hour trip.
It was no fun to check out those flights.
But we took it as an adventure. Like for us, it was like we were in good spirits, and I think we flew from. Where were we? Xiamen. From Xiamen to
Milan.
Over Peking to Milano, and then we had like a 6-hour stay over, and it was really nice because we were back in Europe, and it felt really close to home, even though we stayed in Milano. And then we took a shower, and it felt like a new travel begins from Milano to Brasilia.
Yeah.
And it was funny because then we landed in Brasilia at 1 a.m. and we were like, there's a Starbucks, you want to get a matcha? Because we were so confused about the timetable.
There was literally like no rhythm anymore. Like we woke up, like I had really struggles to sleep, and like at 6 p.m. at night, like we were like so dead. So we slept for 1 hour, and then we were like, okay, fuck, we need to stay up. We need to go to dinner. We need to go to dinner. We're not hungry. Okay, let's just eat something. And then like I went to sleep
again.
Yeah, sleep again. And then I was awake till like 4 in the morning, and then slept for like 5 hours, I think. And then we had a full practice day, and it was just like we were nervous, and we had no rhythm, and it was just like And we also had to like. On the travel, Anouk and Joanna took their final, like their silver in China. So we were like following that as well on the phone, like, okay, shit.
But it was a funny story
That's a bit
because
more pressure. So.
when we woke up on the first morning in Brasilia, we were at breakfast at like 7:30, and we were really not morning people.
No.
So and so it was like, so it was like there, sitting there, like pretty in her peace, and she was like, "I found peace with this situation." And I was like, "Okay, how?" She was like, "I don't know. This night gave me peace." I dreamed of Guadeloupe, where she's coming from the Caribbean.
Actually, I don't know. I watched some videos from there with my family and just like from nature, and I was like, oh my god, like life is nice, and you know, it's gonna be fine. We're just gonna really play, funny. And that's all we can do, you know. So I had that realization moment, which was really important because up to that point I was really stressed and nervous, and yeah.
What a moment to have some peace.
Yeah.
I found peace.
I found peace. No, I found back to my roots.
Oh, back to my roots. I found peace, and I was like, how? I don't know, back to my roots.
To say that. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah. When you're struggling, just back to the roots.
Yeah.
Reset, back to the roots.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And you're like,
so funny.
And you're seeing your sister get this medal, and you're like, oh shit, I mean, good job.
Yeah.
Great finish. And it's, that's what a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, what a challenge to support her, you know, and also be constantly watching.
Yeah.
And, you know, deep down maybe hoping that they don't get this win, you know.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that, you know, a little bit in terms of that dynamic and the strain on the sister-sister relationship?
Yeah, I mean, it was actually, this is the first tournament where I can watch her in peace again and just, you know,
nice.
Cheer for her and want her to win, because, yeah, obviously before it was like, I mean, you don't wish something bad for them, but it was like, yeah, it's better if you don't win. So, and she thought the same for me, so, yeah, it was a weird situation, and we had like, I think the good thing is that we handled it a little bit the same way. So we both weren't like looking for contact during a tournament, or just like when they had their run or we had our run, like we took a couple of days and then it was like back to normal in our sister relationship. But obviously like the topic beach volleyball was not at all in it anymore. And I think in the beginning, like when we were in Saquarema, we even went shopping together, and it was like nice. And then it got a little more intense because, yeah, obviously both of us had their good results, and it was really tight race. And yeah, I think, I don't know, like nobody really had that situation before, so there was not like, I could not go and ask somebody, hey, how did you handle that, or get some advice. So we just, I think, try to figure it out by ourselves, and that worked pretty well. I mean, obviously the moment where the decision was clear, that was tough because, yeah, I mean, I was really happy for us, but at the same time I felt the pain for her. So also for our whole family, like it was not just pure joy, it was also like, okay, we need to be there for her. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to have this situation again. But in the end, like, it's also a really cool situation that we both are at that level, and that it was such a tight race. And and I feel like that she's there to support me on the road to Paris and gives her advice. So yeah, I think we're on a good path.
Was it just the sweetest release when the race was over in Ostrava? I'm sure that there was probably a mix of a lot of emotions between, like, obviously you're exhilarated for qualifying, but I feel like for most people it's this like giant pressure and weight is just gone and you can breathe again.
When we were in Ostrava, on our first quali match, we played against France, and just before that the Germans played against each other, and that was also the deciding game. And Laura and Luisa won this game, and this game was over, we walked to the court, and I saw Luisa just crying her eyes out because the pressure was like finally gone. And I almost started crying because I felt her so much. And I was like, no, Esmee, you have to play now, you cannot cry now. And yeah, it was like I really hoped for us to have the same feeling on that day, but yeah, in the end it didn't work out because we lost against Anouk and Joanna, and then I think the pressure like already flattened out a bit because we had to wait, so it was not that high pressure moment. And when the race was finally over, it was kind of a different feeling because it was not that intense, but yeah, in the end it was not a different result, and so it was like more happiness than pressure relief. Yeah,
I think it was kind of tough to realize it because it's not like you done
Right.
you won the game and like now it's clear. It was like you get a message and now it's clear. So it was really different from what I had in mind how we would qualify. So I was actually at home. I was like cleaning because I had to give my apartment to somebody. So I cleaned it, and yeah, it was just like I knew this could be the day, but I actually never checked the results. And I was in a bus, and somebody approached me saying, "Oh, like today could be the day, right?" And I was like, "What? Okay,
today is only Friday."
I was thinking, okay, maybe Saturday or Sunday, you know. So yeah, and then I went to check, and it was clear. Okay, around 5 or 6 p.m. They're gonna play, but I decided not to watch it. And yeah, so actually then I got the messages, and then we started FaceTime and stuff. But the moment was not as cool as I had imagined.
Yeah.
If it would have been live and we were all together.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So
You didn't imagine yourself cleaning an apartment?
no.
No, we were at home
Actually-
already.
Oh, you were back home already?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you spun
I was
it
back
around
home.
fast.
Yeah.
Got it.
And yeah, I think I forgot what I want to say.
About pressure or the moment to qualify. I think
I think a lot of things. I forgot. Whatever. Like,
But I think the fact that there were 3 Swiss women's teams in the top 15 in the world is pretty cool, especially when Nina and Tanya won a gold medal and you guys won a gold medal, or the other way. You guys won gold, Nina and Tanya win gold, and Anouk and Joanna win gold. Silver.
Yeah, it was 5 weeks
And
in a
then
row.
you guys won bronze.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was just like Swiss medal, Swiss medal, Swiss medal, Swiss medal.
Yeah, it was
And I
cool.
remember after Anouk and Joe won bronze in Tokyo, a reporter asked him a question, is Switzerland a beach volleyball country? And she said, yeah, we're a beach volleyball country. And I would say that question has been answered over and over again.
Yes.
How have you guys seen the level rise since you've gotten into the federation? Because, I mean, Switzerland's a power federation now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think since we're in the federation, not a lot has changed in the like which players are there, because we are in the federation since 2017 or so. So that's after Rio, and the teams were already formed for Tokyo. So it was always Anouk, Joanna, Tanya, and Nina. But of course, like we were pretty privileged to have such a high level beach volleyball. Also in practice, like we can push each other even in practice, and there is I think there's countries where there is only one team and they need to find training partners, or they go with men to practice, and we have 3 teams. And so that's really nice, and I think it's also one thing why we could have pushed our level.
Yeah, it's been
Up and up.
fun to watch. You've gone up and up some more.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, I think so. The goal, when we set the goal for Paris, that was 2 years ago.
2022, yeah.
Yeah, and we were in the meeting with our mental coach, and it was like we were talking about it, but it was like clear it was like this big goal. When we knew like the way, like to get there, it was like still very far, and it was hard for us to really just say it out loud and say it with confidence. So I think that shows how much like we had to work on ourselves to really believe it, to work for it, and yeah, to actually do it. And that we did it in this constellation. Also, like
because for us it was always like we were Zoe and Esmee, and we were like kind of more or less the same age. We had more or less the same experience, and we always saw like players that got the chance to play with an experienced player and like profit from them. And we had to make the dumbest experiences for ourselves. For example, that the shuttle is really leaving at 6 o'clock and not at 6:41. So we were like, fuck, we missed the shuttle. So
stupid stuff like this. We had to learn. But also on court, like there's many situations. I think if you have a experienced player next to you, you can learn from her or him and just grow maybe a little bit faster, have some of the some of the realizations faster, and we didn't have that, so we really had to work on ourselves. And I think that was
I think you guys have set a groundwork for young athletes who maybe are questioning, like, hey, do we have this goal? And I mean, I guess my question for you guys is, now that you have qualified, looking back, if you could talk to yourselves 2 years ago and say, hey, like, you're going to make it, what words would you have for yourself that now you are here and you're like at that point with your mental coach and like making these goals? Like, if you were to talk to yourself now, like, what would you say?
Like, for me, it would be like just the tattoo that I have, do you, because I think it's easy to look left and right and think that you have to do it a certain way, like somebody else who already achieved it. And I think it's really about finding your way to achieve it. And of course, there is people with a lot of more experience around you, and it's nice to have that and take their advice, but then find or transform it into how you can use it for yourself and how it works on you. Because like, I think it's hard to copy. And I think it's more important to just understand the way you work.
But in the end, I think the process that we made is really important, and it's okay how it went, because I think we were like 17 or 19 when we started and unexperienced, so you have to go through all these experiences to really know for yourself what's good for you and what's not good for you, and you cannot know it by then already. So I think you're going to go through moments where you maybe did the wrong decision, or you, I don't know, feel bad about something, and in the end maybe it was a good decision. And so you just, I think you have to go through the struggle to find yourself and how you were gonna, what player you're gonna be. So I think what Zoe's advice is really an important one, but still you cannot do you when you don't know who you are. So you have to really go through that all to know.
I think, like you guys said, if you had a veteran partner, you'd be able to learn a lot in a different manner. But I think there's no more effective way to learn than just getting on the road. And sometimes you gotta do some dumb shit and miss a shuttle or two. And sometimes you gotta lose bad in qualifiers or buy a flight to Brazil from China on the side court or whatever it may be. But I think that how fast you guys have risen. Like you mentioned, even when you set that goal, you weren't that confident that you could do it. And a year and a half later, I think you guys are by far the most improved team in the world this year. And it's been fun to watch you guys get very good. Because young teams have to go through this process of, I think we can qualify. Okay, we qualified. I think that maybe we can compete with a team of the main draw to, we can actually beat a team, to now we can medal, and so on and so forth. And you guys have gone through all of that in the fastest manner I've seen a team go through.
Yeah,
thank you.
Like for us, it didn't feel that way because we felt like we struggled, and we knew we can play a certain level, but we cannot play it constantly. So it was not like, okay, now we're here. Hello. But it's. I think maybe sometimes it is like that. Like you have the different parts, but you cannot put them together. and when you finally manage to do so, it goes up really fast. And I think maybe that's a thing, because we put in a lot of work beforehand, and we worked on get to know ourselves better, get to know the partner better, and that's also really important, like milestones, but maybe they don't show immediately in the game.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I feel like we had like really good coaches as well, who like let us develop, had the patience with us, because I think for us the development didn't feel that fast, you know. So and I think the Swiss Federation in general has really good coaches hired, and so you can get a lot of good advice and good comments from other coaches as well, and I think that gave us the confidence as well that it's the right steps that we're doing, even if it doesn't show immediately on the court.
It can be hard to see at times. But
Exactly,
the
yeah.
support is nice. And
Yeah. Also, if you always have to play qualification, it's hard. I mean, qualification is really hard, because that pressure that you feel when you know you really have to win this game, and you know you play against someone that you maybe won't win 10 out of 10 times. It's I don't know. It's hard, and if you have to do it over and over and over again, like if you are in that flow and if you feel confident, it's nice, because then you qualify. But if you don't, like, you always lose, and then you try again, and then you feel a little bit less confident, and then you lose again, and then so on. So
I remember that we had that talk with the McNamara's actually, like a couple of years ago, where we were just all at the point where we're like, we can't do qualification. Like, is it even possible? And then at some point we started to qualify, and we're like, okay, yes, now we have figured it out. It's actually possible to go through qualification.
And also the system fucked us, because we were like in qualification with the old system, like where there was a lot more teams in the main draw.
Yeah.
And then we started to qualify, so we were ranked higher. And then they smaller the main draw, so we were back in qualification, and we're like, this journey is endless for us. We're like always in qualification. Yeah.
And like you said, it's just one big adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Well, ladies, we could talk to you all day, but you have a quarterfinal to scout for. So again, appreciate you guys taking the time. A huge congratulations again.
Thank you
so much.
Qualifying, congrats on breaking pool. Not just breaking pool, but and we'll be commentating on your match later today.
Oh, yeah.
So good luck.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Like your stuff that you got going on, and it was really cool.
Great. Let's have a fun weekend.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Do it. Thanks.
Good work.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. That was awesome.
This is great. You guys, your English is so good.
Yeah, I just want to say